Yeah. So where is the mic? Somebody say hello something.
Hello, 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 hello.
Working, working.
How was your experience?
We're asking everyone to plan. They're asking people to come and no one is responding.
It's like what's happening in this company.
When does the break from?
I'm coming to.
Yeah. கொஞ்சம் கேமராவை turn to the right side.
Who is the person who's moving?
மெதுவா
Oh, okay.
இல்ல இல்ல இந்த சேர் போயிடுச்சு இந்த சேர் வர மாட்டேங்குது turn to right side enough enough super. This camera, this also keep it on the stage.
Does not work.
It does not work.
I've never been on this stage, bro. Bro, we were there. This project. Oh yeah, I remember, yeah. So,
Yeah, that's it.
hello. Oh, this blue chair, half like this one. This blue chair. Not that one. Oh, okay. Okay, take it.
Hey, Dr. Nishu, I can't hear. Can someone unmute you?
Being predicted for faculties. With all my due respect, I don't think that this will happen, though even esteemed universities like, for example, Harvard University was introducing robot to teach computer science. And there are, for example, solutions in China when there are virtual assistants helping students to verify the level of knowledge of the language. So keeping that in mind, no, there is no possibility, I think, to replace the faculties. We will be always there because I believe we are something more than just passing the knowledge. I think that our role is not being minimized to that one. I think that we are more into grooming the young generation. And I don't think that grooming with the use of artificial intelligence is very much there. So very often we forget that apart from passing this knowledge, this grooming, we are as well, for example, supporting their emotional intelligence, the development, paving, being a role model to students. So in this regard, that's why I think that your second part of the question is more valid here. So artificial intelligence will not replace us. We are going to benefit from it, and I'm vouching for it truly. Assuming that all the academicians, we need to have the pillar of teaching, of doing research, and of service. And the day has only 24 hours. And those of you who are coming from the academic background, you know what I'm talking about. We need to teach, we need to grade, and we need to do it in a personalized manner. And the cohorts are growing, and the demand for knowledge is growing. And we cannot clone ourselves. So that's why I think that AI will become the assistant, and it's happening already. And as students are submitting AI-generated assignments, faculties are not only chasing the plagiarism, this is not our role, but we are using it to personalize the feedback. So I think that the AI will rather help us to make work smarter, faster, and in a more efficient manner, that we can focus on what is the driving factor, not only being those that pass the knowledge, focus on grooming, as I said.
Thank you so much, Anna. So it's a good news for all the teachers that we are not getting replaced, right?
I don't think so.
We are just going to get the goodness of AI, and we're just going to be better at our jobs. Now, I go to Mr. Senthil, where I want to ask the general impact on and the adoption. So here I want to ask you, how is AI transforming the way students are learning, since we are not getting replaced by teachers now, but how are students learning from AI, and what are the most promising AI tools currently used by students, where teacher also needs to be aware of it?
Okay, I like to also answer this question, and I like to answer your question before this also to Dr. Anna. I have an article which is on 2015. It's a first page article about when I launched a humanoid teach assist. It was a project. The first question asked me, "You think the teachers will be replaced by AI and humanoids?" And so, clearly, the implementation of AI, even at that time, I was clearly explain it. At any time, a good teacher cannot be replaced by any AI. because it is more than data. It is more than it's about personal relation, empathy. There's so many things which AI cannot replace it, even though it is getting advanced, but still there is a huge gap. But AI is basically can do a better job to assist the teachers and evaluate it because it is based on collecting parameters, a continuous collection of parameters and data which it gives, okay, how is getting better in phonics, how is better. We did that and it was effective with students. So it's a data driven more than other personal relations. So definitely it's not going to replace. Coming to what are the effective AI tools currently utilize thing. If you see in the past 2 3 years, so of course everybody now know chat gpt and thing. Apart from that, okay, so is it implemented properly? That okay, what are the tools now the university implementing thing? Because there are fantastic AI tools like gradescope, scribble sense, but the way these tools can reduce the load for the teachers effectively, because grading and correcting question papers and things is taking a lot of time to the teachers and things. But in order to use these tools effectively into the system, so there'll be a lot of change required in the policies, so that the way we do multiple choice questions and script based answers. So there is a policy change is required to make these tools more effective. So similarly, like if you see Century Tech is another platforms where it can create a personalized pathway according to the student, whether it's an average or a gifted or talented, so it can create a pathway. Uh, I can say many other tools apart from this grading, as well as the Labster, which in Middle East I not seen much use of this AI driven lab management, because currently the hands-on learning is happening only in university labs. But there are now AI-driven simulators are available, like Labster, which is one of a very effective AI-based lab tool, which is used by many top universities. Is another effective tool for university to use with it. Yeah. So
So that's a good insight to the students that we are still a little behind in using the full potential of AI. Now I come to Mr. Naveen Bhardwaj. After rest teachers and students, we've understood their way of using. I want to ask that can AI effectively assess student performance and provide meaningful feedback if they are being used on both sides by the faculty as well as from the student side? So is AI going to help and support in giving us that entire feedback, or you need human assistance for that?
I'll follow the bandwagon. I'll first answer your first question, and then I will come to the present question. We've set a bad habit here, so let me not, let me not be the odd man out. So, will AI replace teachers? Let me tell you, AI or not, laziness can replace teachers. Laziness can also replace students. And your lack of will or intent to upskill yourselves will definitely replace you. Today it's AI, tomorrow it's BI, day after tomorrow it's ZI. Does not matter what, right? You're supposed to make sure, just like how I caught onto the bandwagon, either you're ahead of the curve, or when you see that there's a bandwagon going on and that's the right direction, you have to swim the tide in that direction. There are very few fish that swim against the tide. You might be one of them, but what if you're not? Right? So practice yourselves to stay ahead of the curve. Uh, Everybody is worrying about AI, and it's not just teachers. It's will AI replace bankers? Will AI replace marketing people? Will AI replace doctors? Will AI replace pilots? You've seen a lot of plane crashes happening off late. Automated flying has always but you still haven't seen this becoming realities. Why? Because no matter how fast and advanced the technology landscape is, or what types of new emerging technologies that are coming out there, there is a degree or there is an element of human touch, human emotional intelligence, human finesse that, as of at least today, cannot be replaced by technology. Now, that's a nice way for me to answer your question, which is about the assessment, right? I think we've all been raised during the times when our teachers sat on hundreds of books and hundreds of pages, and some teachers have also cheated, outsourced it to some of the students. Hey, why don't you just, these questions you can just mark yourselves, I'll come and revision and I will give you the marks, right? Things like that can easily be replaced with the power of AI. To answer to just supplement what Senthil was saying, MCQs, why should a human being waste their time? I will go as far as saying waste their time in checking if the student has answered the MCQ correctly or not. 1 in 4 or 1 in 5, whatever it is, system can do that. But where a teacher's role becomes imperative is creativity, emotional element, trying to solve a particular problem or a challenge with novelty that has not been tested so far out there in the world. Because AI is what? Your Gen AI or the Chat GPTs or the deep sakes that we're talking about, they're all large language models that have been fed by humans and by technology. So they only know what is already known to the world, right? But there are so many things that are not known to the world. Bulb was not known to the world. Phone was not known to the world. Bottles were not known to the world. Somewhere somebody came up with this idea for the very first time. AI does not know that, right? So that's where the teacher's assessment comes to play. So I think teachers partner with AI. Students partner with AI. Universities and educational institutions partner with AI. Know your respective strengths. And I would say dump all the mundane, nonsensic, time-consuming, irrelevant stuff, or even if it's relevant, but it does not really require your intervention to technology. And you now start spending your time more meaningfully on assessing, on grooming, on creating, tailored career paths or upskilling paths, etc. There's also another interesting part, right? And then I will pass it on to my fellow colleague here. Not every student is alike, right?
Yeah.
Assessment and scoring is not just to say how awesome you are, because if that's the only objective, I'm sorry to say that the entire education system is flawed and all of us need to be flagged. The whole objective is to know what are the strengths and weaknesses of those students and then offer them tailored learning, bespoke learning, which unfortunately is not possible today, because if a teacher is running a class of 30, 40, 60, depending on whatever the KHDA rules are here or in other countries, they simply cannot. It's not humanly possible for them to come up with bespoke plans for all those students. And if you're running a university with 3,000, 5,000, 10,000 odd people, how are you going to curate individual learning experiences? That's where AI comes in, right? You partner again with AI, you start identifying, you see who your weaklings are and what is their weakness. How can you create, this is also happening, by the way, in not just universities, but early school. You see 3, 4-year-old toddlers are now being early detection of issues and then creating a path for them, which might be different to others, but relevant to them, because we are talking about lives. We are talking about shaping humanity. We are talking about solving problems that haven't already been solved. But you simply won't be able to do that if you just apply a one-size-fits-all approach, right? So I think that's where tools or technologies or emerging tech like AI or whatever else is out there will come in quite handy.
Yeah. So that's lovely. As usual, Naveen is energetic. See? And he's really convinced that AI is not going to assess you so well what your teachers can do. We are actually we have this hawkeye on our student. You ask me about my student, I'll tell you 10 things. The student's personal as well as his academically, how he's doing. That AI cannot do. So I do agree with you. Now here, now when we talk about AI usage and all, so Mr. Munir, you're going to talk about and tell us about ethical and privacy concern when we use AI. So what are the major ethical concerns regarding AI in education? Because education has a lot of data, which needs to be protected over time and needs to be, it's a safety concern. So I would like you to tell me what are the ethical concerns regarding AI when we use it in education, and such as algorithm, data privacy, surveillance. We have a lot of student data, we have a lot of teacher data, we have a lot of research data, and how does AI is going to support or disrupt?
That is a very good question. Very good afternoon, everyone. And I really appreciate Anuj, Anshu, Dr. Anshu, and the whole team, organizing my dear friend Tanish as well. Many congratulations to all of you, first of all, and thank you so much for inviting me. Here, the question is like, should I follow the same pattern?
Yeah,
All of them
yeah,
have been
yeah.
doing it. I'll answer the question first, the one, which you asked first to Anna. And that's a very relevant, and everybody has their own perspectives on this particular question. I agree to disagree, first of all. Teachers are not going to be completely replaced by AI, and there will be a gap, minimalized to a way that there are no more teachers available in the future. There will be only guides, because everyone will be learners. A teacher will be learning about AI. Student will be apparently learning about AI. So everybody will be, there is no expert in AI as such today. How many of you know about explainable AI, agentic AI? Apart from the one which you are generative AI, there are explainable AI, which will be definitely going to be a huge, change and impact in the learning system. Whatever we are doing manually is going to be replaced by AI. There is no doubt. AI is going to be, the future. It's the present, and it's becoming a lifestyle. It's no more a technology, no more a science. It's a lifestyle. Every teacher's life definitely is going to impact unless and until you embrace the technology. If you are an accountant, if you are a teacher, if you are anyone in the field, or if you're a lawyer even, unless and until you embrace the technology, you accept what is happening in the world, you will be completely left out from the scene, from the league. That is for sure. So teachers, I know you won't like when I talk about these things, but it is the fact in reality. Embrace the technology, especially when LMS come into this picture. The data of a university, the students' data is most relevant data, especially the way they are studying, even their locations. You don't need to, first of all, it has to be encrypted from one end to another end. That is must. Second of all, you have to have a full control on the data. The access control has to be limited to a certain extent. A lab administrator of your university can take the whole data and sell it to an educational agency. As simple as that now. In the similar way, there are AI LMS, as Mr. Sindhil was telling about the tools. All these tools are asking, data from every single student. My name, age, gender, date of birth, and location, everything which is not even relevant to them. They are trying to capture the whole data of yourself, which is not even relevant. So restrict those data which has to be given to them. They just want to know the number, name, and last, grade. That's it. Nothing more than that. Why are these, tools or companies taking your data unnecessarily? There should be a cut. And the college administration, there are three stakeholders, basically. Administration, teachers, and parents, and the students. And parents and students, they are the key players in data privacy. In terms of the student must be having the control whether they can give a data or not. The similar way, the parent has to have. Many of the institutions or the platform I've seen, the parents' annual income between so and so. What is the relevance of that particular data to these, tools? Completely irrelevant. That's where it comes. So the ethical practice has to be, GDPR must be implemented. And the UAE has a law which started in January 22. This is PDPL, Personal Data Privacy Law. That is very, very important. And how many of your institutions are following that? We don't know. In USA, it's very strict. In European Union, every single website has to be completely compliant with this GDPR. And many of the websites, even they don't have an SSL certified for the websites running in Dubai, in UAE sometimes. No. Even educational institutions, how much they are careful, serious about the data privacy of their ward, parents, as well as teachers. Because once you are revealed, exposed, especially, I would like to say, even on LinkedIn, the privacy of the data has to be kept very, very strictly monitored by the organization. Because your competitor will be watching your page, seeing Dr. Anshu working on so-and-so, she has been so much accolades, and next, pray, she will be taking to my institution. You offer better, and you pull them out. So avoid all these practices. Every single institution has to have the proper control on data privacies. This is very important. And I will talk more about, I would like to talk about agentic AI, explainable AI,
Sure.
which will be going to be, big game changer.
Sure.
Thank you. Hope
Uh,
I have answered your question.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll be going on to Mr. Naveen Garg. He's in USA and he'll be joining us online. I hope Naveen can hear me.
Yeah, Nishu, I can hear you very
Yeah.
well.
So, Naveen, I would like to ask you on personalization and accessibility of AI. It in our teachers can inculcate in their lives so that students can learn from there.
Yeah, sure, Nishu. First of all, thank you for giving the opportunity to share my thoughts on this topic, a very exciting topic. Answering your question on the personalization. As we know, human learning has always thrived on the personal attention, and we were talking here for the teacher's replacement and all. So that's all thought come from the personal attention, basically. And there was a one study that called two sigma problem, which studied on the students group. If any student studied in a group or has a one-to-one tutoring, what will be the performance? And there was a dramatic improvement in the student performance if they have a one-to-one attention. But we know that in current world, there is no possibility to give a one-to-one attention, and that is the place where AI can help students and teacher both. They can engage with the problem, make mistakes, and learn from them. So let me explain this by taking some simple example. For example, if any student is doing algebra problem, okay, so AI tool cannot hand hand off the answer directly to the student. That is not the way AI should work, or AI should be used to get the direct answer. But AI tools should let student try out and struggle with the problem and see where they are going wrong, and how can they can give the step. AI tool can give the step to fix the problem and to get the final answer. And the way AI do the personalization is the contextual learning. It understand the student profile, student past experience and background, and based on that, it will come up with the examples which can help student to understand the lesson. And beyond that, there is one more aspect of AI, how a student can benefit. That is a virtual advisor. Actually, if you see your confab also, I think you guys might be traveling from many locations, and you may have a big team also. And it is very difficult to track all the activities and the presentations and when I was listening like about the cheatings and all, and how AI can help the teacher. So I think Anna mentioned that one, that if there is an assignment, and I think Naveen also mentioned that one, that when assignment check in the past without AI also, teacher can ask some other person to check the assignments, right? So but the beauty of AI is now teacher can also utilize AI to check the assignment and see where is the weakness in the structure, like the weak arguments, or what can be improved in their theory, whatever they are submitting. That whole things can be better improve for teacher also. They do not need to do the tedious work. So it is helping teacher also for the assignment purpose. And one more thing AI can provide for a student, that is the adaptive learning. So the way adaptive learning work, it will go even in the past also, where the student has the weakness. Let me say this. So many times we heard that okay, student drop out from the college. Why usually it happen? Or student drop out from even the high school. Why it happen? Because there is a backlog build up on their concepts, and they are not able to cope up with the new complex topic because they have a weakness in the past. So but what adaptive learning can do, which is coming from AI, AI can identify what are the common foundation knowledge is missing in student, and it can help to identify those weakness and fill those knowledge gap. That will make student stronger on the topic and will not let student go down on the topic, which is very difficult for a as a teacher to take a whole group together. Let's say if any teacher identify a gap, it is very difficult for teacher to dedicate a time to the kid. But with the AI, when we have a adaptive learning, AI can identify those gaps in the past, what was missed out, and can fill those gaps. So in that way, we AI can give the personalized learning experience without overburdening the teacher. And now, I think you asked for the accessibility thing as well, right? How disabled students can get benefit from the AI.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would like to mention a few things. The one thing was done by Microsoft. They give a word for this that is called data deserts. So basically, the problem is when AI. So basically, what is AI? It is taking the input data and giving the output, right? So it does not have any consciousness. So the problem for the disabled or disabled students, AI may have a data desert situation when they does not when AI tool does not have the information how disabled or underprivileged student see the world. Because of that gap, AI cannot give the right guidance and direction to them. But now a few companies and a few projects are going on that direction. For example, Microsoft come with the Be My Eyes. So that software is giving the solution to the blind students, where they can use the cameras to visualize the world for them and make a speech on that. Like they put you might heard about the Ray-Ban smart glasses, which can recognize the object and read text aloud, so that they do not need to see. If they are not able to see the word, then AI can come into the picture and visualize the things and convert into the voice, so that they will not missing out on that one. And with the combination of these tools and they can and language barrier will not be a problem with the AI, because it can convert the text into their preferred language. So underprivileged students will not face that challenge if they are using their own native language, the course material. So in that way, AI will also help the underprivileged students also. If Nishu, you allowed me, then I would like to talk about those security and privacy concern which discussed with Munir, as I have experience on the cyber security. You asked for the security and privacy. I have few takes on it. On the privacy, if AI tool, anybody, if working on the AI tool, or if we are using AI tool, as Munir mentioned correctly, that privacy is the biggest concern. So basically, when any university or any student is opting in any AI tool, we should check their privacy policy, and they should clearly mention how they are using the data. So when we are asking how the AI will impact the privacy, so AI company will do whatever they want to do, but as a end user, as a universities, we can also check their privacy policy. And there is a mandate from governments and from the industry that there will be a transparency how it will AI data will be used, and it will be written, and we can understand those. It should be very much visible and clear in their policies use. And how those security come in place, that is called there is a terms called data minimization. If any AI company is using the data, then they can do the tokenization of the data, and they can hide the personal identifiable information, so that even if the data breach happen, then person identity will not be breached. So those are the things. And on the security front, as Munir correctly mentioned, that end-to-end encryption. So there are two things on the encryption side. One is the data in motion. when we are connecting to the tools and we are doing the transaction on the internet. That is called data in motion, and there is a data at rest that is on the disk. So that encryption is also similar important. If anyone is developing a AI tool, then data encryption is needed at data at rest and data in motion both side. And the least privileges is the policy which can go further on the AI on the control side. So this is as a side note on those security and privacy. Other than these.
Thank you so much, Naveen. That was completely elaborate, but it all boils down to we should have some policies designed by the policymakers to ensure that there's some privacy to it. Now, coming back to Senthil, Mr. Senthil, I would just like to ask you, what are the challenges, since we all know we are adopting AI, there is AI, right? I just want to know what are the challenges that we educators or we teachers face while adopting it, while adapting it, while using it?
No, the bigger challenge currently is uh, digital literacy policy and teacher training. Because when you are adopting AI, first there should be, first of all, a clear policy has to be. We are in a stage of a policy setting regarding AI use in the universities, which already a lot of universities working on it. There are already some policies has been outlined by some top universities. So if any university first of all want to implement the AI into that, so they have to have clear AI policy incorporated in their current structure, moving away from their traditional methods, like their examination, like assessments and things. So a lot of variation required. And the second part, when you are implementing AI into the field, so the teachers also has to realize they are moving from teaching to facilitating, because so they move more as a facilitator role, where things, so that has to be slowly, the culture has to bring inside. There is also a big challenge nowadays is regarding incorporating too much reliance on AI and things is we lose the basic the competency skills which we expect out of the students who are coming out of the university, like critical thinking, problem solving. So nowadays, because of the excessive use already AI, so this the students are directly going to the chat bar and asking for an answer. So and also one of the other things, because maybe we already discussed about the proper compliance of privacy, data security, all this has to be put in place. So the first block is basically to come up with a proper AI implementation policy for every university. So that is very important to make an effective AI implementation and adoption in university.
Thank you so much, Senthil. Anna, I just would like you to add something. And what are the skills that is needed for the educators today? Because I too come from that background, and it takes really hardship while I brush my skills every day on AI. And there's now DeepSeek has come in, and then ChatGPT. It turns very, very difficult for a teacher out here or educator that has to cope up with such fast changing technologies and such fast changing things that are coming around, so that they can cope up with these fast changing technologies.
First and foremost, we need to remember that it's said that there are only few things that are inevitable: death, taxes, and change.
Yeah.
And change is the pace that you're mentioning now. And I think that as an educators, I already heard it, and like it makes me cry that we are facilitators, because we are indeed we are facilitating the things. The change is inevitable, or else we are going to be replaced. So which means that we need to remain up to date with the tools, because we should be one path ahead of our students. And we are having, for example, now my classes, I have 24 students. So which means it is the ratio 24:1. I have 24 people studying and clubbing and combining their knowledge, which is coming exponential. And the best part, it is I'm learning from them.
That's
and
so
I,
scary.
and I think that this is the best thing to do, but this only works with the flipped model learning.
No.
Because if we are lecturing and they are passively gathering the information, and if we are going through the exams, this is where these MCQs that you've mentioned rightly, this is so easy, right? This is where the beauty happens. For example, today I asked my students to describe the brand personality, to create a brand voice, and then depict what will be the personality traits based on the big five. And that was the question that both DeepSeek and ChatGPT got stuck on, because connecting the dots in so many ways, what she wants from me. So we came back to this question. I asked them, instead of what we've been using before with the Google, search for the information, look, find for the definition, connect the dots. AI wasn't able to do it. When we found a way forward, I said, like, now, I know that each and every one of you have the upgraded ChatGPT, so go for DALL-E and visualize your brand personality as a human being impersonated. So they created a visualization of a human being, for example, for Chevrolet, for Emirates Airlines. And then I said, like, okay, guys, now let's come back to the concept of a buyer persona that was there 3 classes ago, because this is a class of strategic brand management. And I said, like, tell me how you have foreseen the buyer persona for your respective brand. And then they pulled out a completely different picture that was tabulated. And I said, like, if your brand voice, brand personality is different than the buyer persona, it means that you're talking the wrong language. So just only opening the new door, this will become like a Chinese box.
Okay.
So it is a level within a level within the level. There will be so many options, and your students will be faster than you. So the idea is, stop doing it on your own, rather do it with your students. And when you master the skill, show them how to do it right. So we've got the discussion. Students will immediately jump into answer question XYZ. And then I'm showing them, based on the current research we did, on prompt engineering. I said, okay, how about you will craft that prompt that you put into generative AI in a different way, assigning the role, assigning the task, and giving the context. What will be your output? And they say, like, I don't get it. I said, like, okay, I ask you to visualize the product, which was makeup palette, right? Have you got what you wanted? No, I don't like this, I don't like that. And they started simple prompting, change this, change background. I said, like, no. Tell what is your expectation, what is the style, etc. And they open eyes when I was showing them 20 frameworks, and it's like, I didn't know we can do it this way. The depth, you don't need to know more.
Okay.
It's just that you can add value. But at the same time, when your students are keen on showcasing you what they used, grasp it as a sponge. That will allow us to be maybe not one path ahead, but at least side by side and learning together. And we should not, as an educators, be afraid to admit, I don't know. Let's search together, because we need to be alpha and omega for them. At least this is what we think. No, showing the vulnerabilities. You know what? I don't know. Let's search it together. It gives you that proximity between the professor and the student. I am the human being as well, and I need to do it together. Show me how you do it. And then when you see it from a different perspective, from a different level of critical thinking, from a different knowledge that we have, from the depth, for example, coming from industry, if we are teachers, it's completely different when we are only the theoreticians, right? So if the bookish knowledge is there with you only, it's high time to level it up, right? And then use it, for example, for doing research. But coming back to your questions, first and foremost, the willingness to unlearn and relearn and be open to change. That's the first thing. Second, of course, the digital literacy. We need to be skilled, knowing at least what kind of tools our students are using. So I'm asking my students, when you are using the artificial intelligence or Gen AI, please give the credit to it. Okay. And we already see in academia, some of the authors are claiming that ChatGPT is a co-author of the paper. And last but not the least, data analytics and critical thinking, as you've rightly said. Because we have this capacity that the generation of students onboarded like the last 2 years, they don't have because they became over-reliant. So for example, in the classes, what I do, I ask students, guys, close your laptops. Let's talk about it. Tell me the solution. And they are coming with very creative, very imaginative ways to solve it. I said like, okay, ask this question to ChatGPT. I said like, are you happy with what you got? And they said like, oh no, it's so shallow. It's so basic. It's so applicable to everybody, one size fits all, but it's not relevant to my project. And I said like, be open to collaborate, but be open to criticize. And last but not the least, be open to able to pull the plug if not needed. Because once you will go for the job interview in person, ChatGPT will not be there you. And it's like, how come? It's like, yeah, welcome to the real world. I know that the knowledge we are passing to you, you may consider it useless. Apply it in your own respective context, understand what just happened, and take that knowledge forward. And don't be afraid to learn from mistakes.
Okay, that was really lovely. Good takeaway. And I had one more. Since I take training programs and I train a lot of my company trains a lot of students in colleges and universities. Over there, they are more keen in learning how we gamify lot of topics and all. So, Mr. Munir, I would like to know from you, since you come from that industry, that when students come with this background and they have developed the learning style from gamification, when they come into the industry, what difference do you see? And I want all the students to hear this. What is the difference when they come to the industry? They have no gamification process now to learn. So how do they switch from their university where they are gamified all topics to the industry which has no gamification but personal and completely?
Again, see, when we look back, when the computers were introduced and internet was introduced, all these universities were teaching computers. But when they go out to the industry, they are seeing the industry without computers. So they adopted the environment so easily. If you are an MBA student, how you know how to learn, to do marketing in terms of marketing or in terms of HR, you learn the basics and everything from the premises or from the teachers, from the institutions. When they go out, they are seeing something totally different. So they are very adaptive students. I mean, they are the young age. They are not like the so-called boomers, even not millionaires. The Gen Zs are very fast and quick to adapt to the situations. So it is no matter that whatever they are, they jumped and they are pulled into or dropped into a swimming pool, they will learn how to swim it. This is very interesting. And this is what is happening in the market.
Okay.
All right. So, but at the same time, like in another way, when the industry is taking the leverage or leveraging the capacity of AI, being a business person, we automate a lot of businesses in terms of AI, right? There are majorly when it comes to the corporate or the top SMEs or SME segment, small and medium enterprises, what happens there, all the 5 departments majorly, HR, sales and marketing, customer support, finance, administration, all the departments are getting into AI. A student coming out of the university with AI technology, AI is not subject, it's everywhere. If you go for mathematics, there is AI. If you go physics, there is AI. If you go for HR training, there is AI. So AI is being globally and everywhere. It's a phenomenon. It's not something which is just as a subject. All right. So when it goes out to the industry, if he joins as an HR assistant, HR manager, the first thing he will be implementing is how to leverage and increase the efficiency of the company using the technology. How you become an accountant, or a financial expert by, leveraging the technology in that company that will add value. As he said, like when you go for an interview, I, telling every single student or someone, be a prompt engineer by yourself. You don't need to go to an university to be a prompt engineer. Because what will add values to your candidature is what knowledge you gained apart from your university. When they come, for us, we get a lot of interns. GPT, we say always, GPT is the smart intern. Similar way, an intern will be learning a lot of things through the internship. And their ability to, give away something to the industry, any which company, that will be the value addition and they will be adopting it very easily. So the thing is that always try to learn things as fast as possible. There is no, stay back from the technology. Where I had, done an interview for a content writer a couple of months ago. I got 3 candidates. And there were 3 girls. And one was telling, I asked one simple question, do you use GPT to create contents? It was for a blog writing, interview was a blog writing content writer. One said, sir, I don't use GPT, I do my own, natural writings and I create my own stuff. I don't believe in GPT. Another girl said, I use GPT to an extent, just to, formalizing things. And the third one said, I am completely using GPT, but after getting it, I humanize it in my own way and getting it returned. So the third one got the job. The reason is being that she can create 10 blogs in a day, where others can take 2 days to create 1 blog. And the second one will take 3 blogs or 4 blogs in a day. So the efficiency is increased. And the time, money is being reduced to a level where you can have 10 customers instead of 1 customer. The company get more benefits. So this has to be taught to the students from the university level. How can, increasing the efficiency, 1, there is no replacement of jobs. See, for example, the biggest question, the challenge in the industry is that AI is going to have a reason for job loss. Never. Not at all. More jobs. Rather, for example, the requirement in the industry for the services are way beyond your existing supply. As of now, there are nearly 700,000 companies registered under Dubai government, DED, Department of Economy.
Okay.
All right. And how many digital marketing companies are there to cater this? How many companies can be catered by a digital marketing company in a year? Maximum 100, 200. So the supply is very, very limited in terms of digital marketing. So for example, if you're a company having 15 employees or 20 employees, you are selling, your products online or even offline. You want to do digital marketing. Affordability of a digital marketer will be costing you 5,000 to 10,000 dirhams in a month. You learn it in Canva, create the content using ChatGPT. Midjourney can be used for creating, and InVideo can be used for your videos. And there are so many tools which are even free to create your contents online for digital marketing. So what happens here? The businessman reducing the cost to 1,000 dirhams or 500 dirhams, even if you can subscribe all these tools, few dollars, and you learn yourself. Or ask your administrator or a secretary or a marketer to learn all those things by themselves. So every single company will have an AI expert or AI enabler in the future. This is for sure. So adopting according to the technology requirements in the future, and the students who are coming out of this gamification kind of a thing into the industry, they will be facing the challenge where the technology is already adopted by the companies and industry by now. The enablement of AI in every single company is massive. Everyone is learning because it's open now. After GPT has come into the picture. Now, the latest yesterday's news is Gork 3. Gork 3 is from Musk. Elon Musk has introduced the fastest, the most smartest chatbot ever made. DeepSeek, better than DeepSeek, even better than OpenAI's product. It has a deep search. It has explainable AI. There's so many things. I'll talk to you in the next, question if you ask anything. So what I'm trying to tell you, be faster and quicker in learning things. And teachers can leverage this opportunity, as Anna rightly said, discuss with them, be open to them. What happens in the industry itself, a manager who has got some tricks and tips, he will never expose to the subordinates. He will just hide by himself. So the honor of the company as an entrepreneur, always keep everything open, get it exposed, discuss with among all your subordinate and colleagues, so that end of the day, what we need is efficiency booster. And AI is going to boost the efficiency in a very larger level.
Thank you thank you so much, Mani, for the elaborate answer. Because of the shortage of time, we'll take a last question from Mr. Naveen. You got to tell me about what are the gaps that AI can fill in, if you've noticed, and I would like to especially quote in the education industry. And secondly, I would like you to talk about your student support AI program that you're holding it in April, which would be quite supportive and which would be quite helpful for the students if they want to attend.
Definitely. Taking the first question and trying to keep it simple, right?
Yeah.
Let's break this down into institutions, faculty, and students.
Yeah.
For the sake of simplicity. Where can institutions, what are the different gaps? I wouldn't say gaps, I would probably say enhancing your operational efficiency, right?
Okay.
Student attrition, data analytics. We talked a lot about data. How to use the power of AI to detect which students are at the verge of drop off this term, next term, whenever. Competitive edge. And let's be honest, yes, teaching is service, but universities and schools are competing with each other, and that competition is only getting aggressive, not just between themselves, but with also e-learning platforms, e-universities, AI, and a lot more, right? So gaining that competitive edge. Now, when it comes to the faculty, we talked a lot about the faculty, I presume, so I don't need to tell you what are the gaps, but I have to concur with you that faculty should start collaborating with students as opposed to just teaching the students. Somebody talked about policies having to be made by the policymakers. I disagree. Policymakers can only take you so far, right? Let's say I'm Roads and Transport Authority or I'm Dubai Police. I can only tell you what you have to do 1, 2, 3. Whether or not you do that 1, 2, 3 is up to you. Until you're caught, nobody knows. Secondly, there might also have to be, not might, there should be policies that are made by yourselves. So as a university, as a group, as an institution, as a school, you need to make sure that you also come up with your own policies. Again, that falls. To create those policies, you can leverage the power of AI, right? Coming to the students part, right? Now, we talked a lot about Gen AI, and we couldn't get a chance to talk about explainable AI or agents. Everything is agents now, because AI agents is everything. I think we're barely scratching the surface in this conversation, but students in the past went to libraries. They read volumes. So they learned from teachers, they learned from books. Then came internet. We went on the web and we searched for a lot of different scholarly articles. Sitting in India, I was able to access things in the US. And now you have AI where things are much faster, right? What has changed? What has changed is the way you're accessing the information, the speed at which you're actually able to get that information. Things are at your fingertips. Let's not be too scared, worried, doomsday picture, everything is negative, or teachers will replace, students will, nothing, no need to worry. Look at the positives and also look at the ethical aspects. Somebody talked about ethics earlier, right? So inculcate or imbibe that culture of ethics amongst your students, amongst your faculty, amongst your institution also, right? Now, I'm preparing for a thesis, a presentation. What's wrong if I'm actually using generative AI to try and help me get pointers? We talked a lot about critical thinking. Yes, there might be an impact on critical thinking, but if we teach students, and if the students also voluntarily start leveraging this as a partner, give me pointers, then I will apply this. I'll use my own brain, which is of course most important. And when they're here, brainstorming, right? So you can use AI as your, remember, we kept saying AI assistant, AI assistant, AI assistant. Nobody said AI master. Why? Because it is your assistant. Is it wrong to have an executive assistant? If so, I think 9 out of 10 businessmen and ministers and leaders out there will all go out of their jobs because their assistants are actually running effectively more than 50% of their jobs. If that is okay, this is 80, right? If that is okay, this is okay, right? So it's just a matter of inculcating and then train the students. Students also train your mindsets. I will absorb all this information. I will add my own level of creativity and I will prepare myself to hold a conversation or a discussion without having to read or reference it. As long as I'm able to do that, I've understood the basics, the fundamentals, and I've applied my own thinking, it's okay to be using it. So for students, I guess, faster learning, faster access. As you said, digital marketing, you gave the example. I don't know if those numbers are right or wrong, but I will trust you on that. There are 200 digital marketing companies. Maybe tomorrow there'll only be 5 because businessmen start doing things on their own, or they will force their teams to start doing things on their own. The services will become cheaper, affordable, competition will increase, right? Lot of the mundane stuff is lost when they're preparing students, right? When they're preparing for their projects, if they can use the power of AI to visualize the way they submit their thesis, what's wrong? Do they need to sit and draw? Do they need to figure out Corel Draw? Do they need to go learn Adobe InDesign? No, if they're into, let's say, I don't know, fashion engineering, yeah, that's probably more relevant. They need to study all those different stuff. But if they're into something else, if they're running medicine, what do you want them to learn? You want to learn them how to operate, or you want them to learn how the tools for designing is done, right? So it's okay. Let them leverage, right? So I think these are just, again, surface level gaps we are talking about, but that adaptive learning can go a long way. Even for students, creating their own career path can go a long way. As long as we understand that these are our assistants, at least as of today, and we have an ethical, moral, and probably policy level obligation to make sure that we are being fair and just, it's all okay. On ethics, right? I think copyright infringement has been one of the major issues, and everybody is talking about it, right? Because be it authors or researchers or people that have published books or picked up their honorary PhDs after years of effort, now they see that all that content is available to others like this, and people are using it to their own personal gain. So I think this copyright infringement and a little bit of the IP right infringement is going to stay. Look what's happening between your OpenAI and DeepSeek, and how DeepSeek is being pressed in the US, or at least discussions are going on around pressing. That will stay. I mean, there's nothing much that we'll be able to do about it, but voluntarily and compulsorily, when institutions, faculty, student come together and in principle agree to various areas where they will actually leverage the power of AI and work together to enhance this entire system of teaching and learning, I think we're in safe hands.
I would like you to talk about your program.
Oh, yeah. So I'm fortunate enough that our company manages the Dubai AI Festival, which is a government of Dubai initiative run by the Dubai AI campus, which is at DIFC, in partnership with DIFC and the Office of the Minister of Artificial Intelligence, Remote Workplace and Future Technologies, His Excellency Omar Al Olama. The idea of the festival was incubated by the CEO of the AI campus, Mr. Mohammed Al Bulushi. We launched the festival last September. It was called the Dubai AI and Web3 Festival. We had about 6,000 plus participants coming in from around the world. So the upcoming edition is in April. For those of you that don't know, His Highness Sheikh Hamdan bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the Crown Prince, Deputy Prime Minister, as well as the Minister of Defense, announced Dubai AI Week. In, I think, sometime in November and December, he announced the Dubai AI Week, which is a week-long affair to discuss, celebrate, brainstorm, partner, and collaborate on all things AI. This is in April.
That's a good opportunity for all of you.
5 different events are taking place during that week, and one of the pinnacles is the Dubai AI Festival, which will be a 2-day affair. Again, it's a government initiative, but we're partners and we manage that entirely. What we've done as part of the festival to proactively integrate the student and the youth community into the mainstream conversation, because governments are there, enterprises, banks, healthcare, medical, aviation, automobile, you name it, they're all there. We are expecting lots of unicorns. A lot of ministers have already confirmed. So we are expecting anywhere between 10 to 12,000 participants. And we wanted to make sure that we give an opportunity for students to also come and showcase their AI or generally future tech and emerging technology related innovations at the festival. Now, typically, if somebody wants to exhibit or showcase, they have to commercially sign up, but students, they may or may not be able to afford it. Universities may or may not want to sponsor it. So what we've done, we've launched a program called as Global Future Tech Innovation Program, which is open for universities all around the world, where students in the age group of 16 to 30 can nominate their innovations, of course, guided by their universities. And 10 such innovations from around the world, and we're looking at actually increasing that to anywhere between 15 to 20, will be given an opportunity to associate with the festival at no cost. They'll be given an opportunity to come and showcase and exhibit it at no cost. Now, you have governments, the policymakers, you have the industry, the potential consumers, you have the technology players, incumbents as well as startups, you have some startups that are coming to meet with potential investors. So the whole community is coming, and we want to put the students out there and put their innovations out there, so they also start becoming part of the mainstream conversation. So it's called Global Future Tech Innovation Program. If you go to DubaiAIFestival.com, all the details are in there, and I encourage, of course, your university and whoever else there is, for that matter. I have my colleague Sanjeev also sitting at the back, and my Mona from Pupilar, who's doing a fantastic job with youth-related stuff, is also in the room. So feel free to explore more on the website or reach out to our teams. And
Sure.
if students, or let's say students and faculty together, have come up with something groundbreaking or something that they believe are groundbreaking, please encourage them to nominate themselves and give them a chance to come out there. And for a change, there, they won't be talking about challenges, issues, teacher replacement, and all of those things. They'll actually be talking about AI innovation that's going to help transform the economy or help transform humanity or a particular industry sector. So I want to leave you with that.
Thank you so much for your patient listening, and thank you so much to all the panelists that you have given and enlightened us. So we're just running out of
Dr.
time,
Nishu,
and we'll just take it personally. So just running out of time. Okay. Thank you so much. Yes. Anuj, do we have some felicitation? हाँ तो फिर hurry up. चलो come, because it's lunchtime.
Breaking people from lunchtime is not a good idea.
Yeah.
AI can't replace lunch, at least that we can be happy about. That's my